too busy making plans to grow its once humble community into one of the greatest Minecraft communities on the planet. Install Buycraft on your Minecraft server today. Get off to a good start by using our free tutorial section where you can learn how to create your first packages. Start accepting donations.
Hello, I'm Flan. I created Flan's mod and did a small bit on the ether when it first came out. We have an introduction video to my mod.
Yeah, it works. Hi, I'm TJ, otherwise known online as Marathi. As you can tell by the not video behind me, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a live streamer. I also do Minecraft modding, which is why I'm up here. Mostly modding for Forge, as opposed to all the bucket lads, apart from Flan. Mods like charge pads for IC2, obsidian plates, switches, infinity bows, various other mods which are, as opposed to some massive projects that Flan has just shown, are mostly helper mods and additions to packs that people put out, for example, in Feed the Beast. And helper plugins and tweak mods for things like Sizzlecraft, which was Baked Donut, it's another live streamer, and Magic Farm, it's another FTV pack. That's mostly what I do.
Alright, so at this point, I think we're going to swap over to part 2 of our little presentation for you, which is where we're going to get you guys to give us ideas for simple plugins. What we're going to do is we're using the Bucket framework, which is very easy to get a hold of if you're just starting out modding Minecraft. You don't have to worry about sort of client-side syncing up, making sure everything's up to date and matching. Generally, if your code compiles, it will at least work to some extent. So it's quite a safe framework to start your first Minecraft modding. So without further ado, does anyone have something simple that they'd like to see coded? Yep. It's not that simple.
Got one here, yeah?
Hi there.
A plugin which would make blocking more interesting. For example, if you blocked quickly and then someone attacked, it would block more damage, and if you were blocking for a while and someone attacked, it would take more damage than you would normally. So it's something to make blocking more interesting with Minecraft swords.
That's a good one. Right, cool. I will swap over and yeah.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook into the damage event and the player blocking event, which are two events that the bucket system fires to tell you when a player does something. The damage event is obviously when a player gets damaged, and you can check if they're blocking or not, and then using the second listener we'll be able to have a timestamp of when they've last blocked, and that will generally tell us how long they've been blocking for and how much damage to stop. So I guess I'll start coding.
It is.
Alright, so what I'm doing at the minute is registering the listener, which tells the bucket system that this is a class to fire events into. So I just need to import the relevant thing, which is just there, and now I can start throwing in event handlers, which is just the handler for the events. A bucket has its own one, as opposed to the Java standard one, which it just handles it slightly differently. So what I'm doing here is the player damage listener. Which it didn't import. Awesome. Alt. Where's Alt? I didn't practice on a Mac beforehand. I'll do that later. I'm not familiar with Mac, so I do apologize. So the event you would get the player. I'll deal with the actual event later. And then you can check if the player is blocking, which is a very simple thing. Just player that is blocking, which is a boolean, so you would put that inside an if statement in order to handle it. So if the player is blocking, then what we're going to do is move over to our second listener, which captures the timestamp of when they block. So sometimes you have to look things up. We'll just throw in the player here. And then what you want to do is you want to store a timestamp of when they're doing that. So what you can just do is use a thing called a hash map, which is a quick lookup table to store timestamps in. So you need to explicitly do the thing. So now that we've got the player, which we will have once I figure out where the event is, you would put the timestamp into the timestamps collection with the name of the player. So you can look it up, and system.current time milliseconds, which returns the system time in a format that you can parse quickly and work with without too much changing. So when you check if they're blocking, you get the current system time. And then you can check if they have a timestamp. Which then tells you if you should handle the event any further. And in there, you can get the timestamp, or the difference rather. So the difference is going to be in milliseconds. So if the difference is less than or equal to 1 second, you could set the damage to be half of the regular damage. Size. Yeah, so we're just going to increase the font size on the Mac here so you can actually see what's going on. Control plus? No? So are there any questions so far about what I'm doing, apart from the fact that I've completely forgotten which events to use? That's IntelliJ, which is just like Eclipse, but with different shortcuts, essentially. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, we fixed it. The only problem is I don't have the events. Just throw in the event then. Yeah, there we go. Which, this is just a different event. Works in the same way. It's just you need to check if it's a player. Which is what that called up. Brackets. Now, a neat thing about IntelliJ is that you can actually just, oh, there's a control key. No, you can't. How do you select all on a Mac? Apple key A. Which one's the Apple key? There. Okay. Control. What's your format for? Honestly, we rehearsed this just on a different PC, as in an actual PC. There you go, reformat code, which does your indents and stuff, makes it look all nice. Event.set damage, yep. Event.get damage over 2. Alright. Oh, that's that thing with the version that we're on, isn't it? Yep, so what I've done here is check if the last time the player blocked was under or equal to a second, and if it is, then if you're blocking, your damage that you take is halved. Now I just need to figure out if they actually have an event for the player toggling the block, which is what I'm looking at just now. Yeah. We could use a scheduler, couldn't we? Just to check. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, unfortunately, my memory has failed me. There is probably an event for getting when the player does a block, so my apologies. But the basics of what you need to do are there. And you would just, when the player blocks, you throw the timestamp into the hash map, which is up here. And then when the player takes damage, you check that damage against the timestamp, and you handle that the player takes differently depending on what the value is. Does that answer your question, apart from my failing memory? I'm going to swap over to Chunker now, who's going to do one. Good luck.
So, if anyone has an idea for a plugin, just scream, shout.
Just 1 second.
Chairs.
Chairs. Or, explain.
Oh, like you can sit down on stair blocks.
It's quite complicated and it will take a bit longer than the entire panel.
You could handle it by when you right-click a stair block, you spawn a minecart on the stair block, and fine. Yeah, I'm just going to handle this one because I have an idea of how I would do this simply. So what you would do to sort of have that simulated very quickly is catch when the player clicks on a stair block, and then put them in a minecart on that stair block. And we'll just leave all the fancy stuff like handling when they get out of the minecart, just so I can give you a basic idea quickly. Right? So there's a player interact event, which is essentially when the player does something. So what I'm going to do here is get when the player sneaks over a block or right clicks. I think I'll go for right clicks because it's a nice one. So if event.getAction, which tells you what the player did, equals action right click blocked, then you would get a block. Get the player. Yep. And then you can spawn a minecart where the block is and put the player inside it. Then you put the player as the passenger of the minecart, which puts them inside it. So the only thing left to do here is to check if the block is a stairs block. So the simplest way to do this is to get the type of the block and get the name of it, and just use the contains function to check if it contains the characters stair. And there you have a basic sit down on stairs plugin for you. Thank you for your idea. Can we test it? Yes, we can. Do you want to run through this one?
Let's do it.